Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative. Say you want to get married, have kids, teach them to believe in God and pledge allegiance to their country. Because you know what? Fear has been infectious in this country, but courage can be contagious too. That too is what it means to be an American.
The left is beginning to realize that the dam is breaking in regards to the young generations, my generation. They're starting to realize that the Democrats no longer have an uncontested monopoly over the Gen Z vote, and because of that, they are beginning to panic. And that is something you saw this past week in the Twitter feud between Vivek Ramaswamy and AOC, which we want to discuss here today because there's a lot to break down. So folks, if you enjoy the content, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. But if you saw Vivek Ramaswamy's RNC speech, you may remember that he made a very compelling appeal to Gen Z. This is, of course, a voter demographic that historically has been all for the Democrats, all for the far left. I would argue the GOP really still does not understand my generation. They don't understand that there's a lot more likely conservatives among us than they think. But take a listen first to what Vivek Ramaswamy said, and then we will discuss the AOC response, which really went off the rails. So check it out.
And our message to Gen Z is this: you're going to be the generation that actually saves this country. You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative. Say you want to get married, have kids, teach them to believe in God and pledge allegiance to their country. Because you know what? Fear has been infectious in this country, but courage can be contagious too. That too is what it means to be an American.
So there you heard Vivek Ramaswamy making a compelling case as to why, for young people, it is actually the cool thing to do to support Trump, to be right-wing, to be a conservative. And I believe that is why you have began to see increasing numbers of Gen Z, especially young men, coming over to Trump, coming over to the right, because firstly, they realize they've been lied to their entire life about this kind of stuff. But on top of that, there is a natural instinct amongst young people to be rebellious against the current system. You've seen that for generations. You saw that during the Vietnam War protests in the 1960s. You saw that with Occupy Wall Street and the millennials. Well, now arguably because the left wing has so much control over all of our major institutions, the trendy, rebellious, almost punk thing to do now is to be right wing and support Donald Trump. And they are starting to realize this. Now, evidently, the left wing feels very threatened by this. Not just because the young people are a big voter base for the Democrats, but also, as you saw during the Cultural Revolution in China and a million other examples throughout history, young people usually are that kind of militant block of your coalition that you can use to spread the radicalism and enforce it. And that is something you see currently on college campuses. It is not a new model to history. So for all of those reasons, AOC responds to Vivek Ramaswamy trying to shut down this whole idea that young people actually can be Republicans. She says here, young people don't take well to bigoted leaders who attack LGBTQ plus rights, outlaw abortion, cozy up to gun manufacturers and oil executives, and support a rapist for president. If you want to be cool so badly, try giving a damn about other people beyond yourself. Might open a few doors. So as you can see here, you know, just the generic talking point response. Really not like full of nonsense in many ways, but here's what Vivek Ramaswamy responded with and said, here's a reality check at AOC. The GOP platform does not oppose gay marriage and does not support a federal abortion ban. Stop misleading your followers and admit the real reason you're freaking out is that we are picking off your voters. Have a real debate on the merits instead of lies. Give it a try. It'll be good for your party and for our country. And I think in many ways, in general election season, This kind of is the perfect response, because regardless of whether or not you think the national GOP platform should include those things, and I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, yo, you should, this is a retreat on social conservatism, and I understand that talking point, I totally do, but the simple reality is that is not what Trump and the national GOP is currently running on. And so think what you will of that, really. My take on it is sort of a pragmatic take. I think as it currently stands, the issues of social conservatism versus social liberalism are being decided at the state level. And in order to eventually ever see that accomplished at the national level, we need to first implement nationalist policies, right? Once we fix immigration, once we do all this different stuff, bring down crime and all of that, that may create the social and political climate where it is possible to see nationally socially conservative policies implemented. But you can disagree, whatever it is. But here's the sheer fact of the matter is that if we're going to have a debate over the GOP platform and what Republicans are running on and what Trump is running on, let's at least be honest about that, right? Let's not lie about it. Let's not misrepresent what is in the RNC platform, what is in Agenda 27. And I think that's the point really that Vivek Ramaswamy here is making, is that, you can disagree with the Republican platform. You can make your own case, but don't argue against complete straw mans that Donald Trump is not running on, right? Donald Trump's not running on a national abortion ban. Donald Trump's not running on doing anything about, overturning gay marriage and all of that. But why do they do this? Because they want to obfuscate, because they want to distract from the actual platform that they know they're really not popular on, right? What is Donald Trump and what has the MAGA revolution exclusively to him always really been about? It's about improving the economy. It's about fixing immigration, sealing the border. It's about fair trade deals, and it's about ending those foreign wars and implementing an America First foreign policy. And I truly believe that if you ever want to see social conservatism become a national thing, you have to do those first, because you have to create the political climate to where social conservatism really is possible. But in many ways, I would argue what MAGA has never been necessarily a socially conservative movement. And this is a big reason I don't think a lot of people are going to buy the fear-mongering from AOC is, does anyone really believe that about Donald Trump? That he's some type of staunch, crazy social conservative? You know who Donald Trump is. You know who he's been for the past 40 years. But yeah, that's who he really is. Nobody believes that, right? I think MAGA has always been a coalition movement. You can call it a Big Tent. I prefer to use the term coalition, but it's a coalition that includes social conservatives. It wants to make social conservatives happy. But the idea that this is what the focus of a second Trump term is going to be, enforcing social conservatism on the national level, is just complete nonsense. It's not true. Even if it were true, even if that's what Donald Trump really wanted to do, he would not have the political support as it currently stands at the national level to even do these types of things. But ultimately, I don't think deep down that's what Trump sees as the most important issues to fix nationally in this country, because here's the sheer fact of the matter. Even if the Republicans, AOC, you believe, want to do these things, we're not going to be able to build the political support if you guys are allowed to give amnesty to 20 million illegal immigrants. So what do you really think we want to focus on first, right? Fixing immigration, fixing the border, fixing the economy, allowing our ideas to become more popular? Or do you think he's just going to get in office and try to sign a national LGBT ban or something like that? Nobody believes it. This is fear-mongering, but arguably this is a big reason why the left is collapsing among young voters, because young people are starting to see, wait a minute, that's nonsense. I read the GOP platform. I read Agenda 47. I don't see a mention of any of these things. What is she talking about? Oh, they've actually been lying about and misrepresenting the right this entire time. And that's what's really going on here. So, folks, with that said, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. What do you think of Vivek Ramaswamy's response there? Be sure to let me know. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until next time, God bless and peace.